Thanks, Bradley. So to paraphrase one of our previous Prime Ministers, how good are the oceans? Oceans are the lungs and lifeblood of our planet, and increasingly we're recognising that they're going to play a key role in the future, in our future. They regulate climate, they capture carbon, they are a source of energy, food and livelihoods for millions of people, and they're a place we turn to for relaxation as well as spiritual, cultural and social connection. But can we rely on our current governance systems to protect these precious ecosystems in the face of multiple planetary crises? Sorry, I didn't give you the first slide. So in the last half century, we've witnessed an explosion of maritime activities, often referred to as the blue acceleration. And this blue acceleration has transformed our relationship with the world's ocean, driven by advances in technology, in changing environmental conditions, and increased global demand for resources. With this expansion of maritime use comes both risks and opportunities. Particularly, we see growing environmental risks, rising inequalities, as well as risks of conflict between sectors or uses or between countries. So the research I've been conducting over the last 5 years or so seeks to understand how we might adjust and transform our approach to governing ocean spaces and the way we use those oceans in response to these risks. And most recently, we've been exploring the question, how can we reimagine ocean governance for a changing environment and changing uses of our ocean? So we've been very specifically looking in our own backyard at 2 emerging uses here in New South Wales, and the first is offshore regenerative aquaculture. This is aquaculture that has no inputs and relies on nature to grow. So we're talking about things like seaweed and shellfish farming. In this project, we've been working closely with First Nation partners to identify what a regenerative aquaculture industry might look like for them if they were to design it. And what it's turned up is some completely new ways of thinking about ocean farming. The second is the emergence of offshore wind here in Illawarra, which has been hotly contested and very divisive within our community. And rather than attempting to solve or dismiss that conflict, we're exploring how it might be harnessed to create better outcomes for our community and our environment. And in doing so, improve this very young and underdeveloped regulatory environment. So these 2 case studies have identified some pretty exciting new ideas that I think are worth exploring in ocean governance spaces. For example, our work on the regenerative aquaculture has uncovered the potential for Indigenous notions of reciprocity or give and take to fundamentally reimagine how we might manage marine resources. The ideas that our First Nations partners want to explore combine multiple objectives and multiple methods into one system of farming and weave together systems of ocean governance that we've previously thought of as quite separate: wild harvest, aquaculture, restoration. Our next step is to put these ideas to the test through an in-water pilot. Our work on offshore wind is taking the idea of social licence to operate and reimagining it as a consent process in the form of a social contract between local communities, government, industry and nature. The contract would set the terms and conditions under which offshore wind might proceed in our region, and it extends on ideas of legal rights of nature and gives a seat at the table for nature in that consent process. And a process of negotiation and co-design. So we're really at a point in history where we need new approaches to thinking, governing and using our oceans, and the stakes could not be higher. Our work attempts to take risks and create space for innovation by learning from ancient wisdoms and local knowledges, and we can't wait to see the ideas that come out of it. Thank you very much.